All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with another edition of Champ Chat. It's the busy season of Champ Chat as we have a lot of big tournaments all around the corner. And this week we get the chance to talk to our 2016 World Champion, who I'll introduce very shortly after we talk about our sponsors. That's hcrealms.com. Check out the shop section while you're on HC Realms, your one-stop source for all sorts of Heroclix knowledge. And while you're in the shop, put in the coupon code MARRIED for 10% off of your purchase. As well, we're also brought to you in part by MajesticCCG.com. Check out the Apex Insiders premium portion of the website to get premium articles for some premium writers and some really big minds in the game, and my mind. And speaking of MajesticCCG.com, what a better time to introduce the 2016 Heroclix World Champion, the owner of Majestic CCG, Patrick Yapjoco.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I mean, you keep having us have you on the show, so we almost have to put in a permanent seat for you around here. Married with Clicks and
That'd
Patrick.
be awesome. I can live with that.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, we've been here before, but some people are just introducing themselves to you now. Never met Patrick Yapjoco, so give us a little introduction, your history with the game of Heroclix, and what you've been doing in the past couple of years.
How I got started. I used to be an action figure collector, comic book reader. Went into was Infinity Challenge. So it was maybe a few months. It's only been out for maybe 2 or 3 months, and I went into the store and there was this box that said Infinity Challenge. I was like, oh, I was also playing Warhammer at the time, and it looked like, I'm like, wait, wow, is it like Warhammer but comic book heroes? Okay. And I'm like, well, I also collect action figures, so this is perfect. So I collected it, and then as I'm sure with a lot of people, it was just sitting on my shelf for a while, and then I'm like, there are rules to this game. I might as well learn it, and then force my cousin to help me play and help me learn, and then that's it. After that we found out where to play in the local areas, and then just went from there. And then whatever competitive scene they had, we went to, which was like the first DC World Championships was in, I think, 2003, and me and my friend and I went to that one. And then I took a break for a while, and then I came back in 2009 when Thor came back, or I came back with Thor.
Yeah.
And then I just got hooked ever since, re-hooked, I guess, re-addicted. And then that's it. Just past couple of years, just trying to get the site up, my online store, and meeting a lot of awesome people in this community, which I don't, because I played other games, and I don't think there's a community like this where everybody's like this tight, this this nice, and even at the high level, everyone's like super nice. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. You and me share a very common history, right down to we used to play Warhammer. Hey, now there's comic book characters in Warhammer type game. We also come from a similar background in competitive gaming, as you and I are both of the old Versus guard, as it were.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's where I took my break when they announced the $1 million circuit. I'm like, wow, I can get paid to play these comic book games. All right, I did that, and I tried to do Heroclix at the same time, but it just took too much of my time because, man, the stakes really went up on that game. The $1 million actually went way more than that, and they were having like 10K tournaments weekly at different parts of the country, sometimes twice in a weekend. I'm like, okay, and so did that, and then it died in 2008, I believe, and then just when it died, top NECA bought WizKids and filled the void again.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's about the time I think we all found our way back to the game of Heroclix.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, your trip to Worlds this year actually started in the world of WKOs, but you went through the second round of WKOs, the constructed round, correct?
Yeah, I didn't. the first round of it was sealed, right? And the closest one to us was about 6 hours away, and I did not want to drive 6 hours to play World's Finest Sealed to see if I can beat someone who pulled a God Pack, or I didn't pull a Mary Marvel or a Shazam or something like that. I know it's not that simple, but it's just made it that much harder. So I said I passed, and my teammates and friends went, like Jim, Clay, and Kevin. They all went, and one of them qualified. But that was also the time I think they took 1 in every 8 people that qualified. They got in, and then I thought, oh man, I'll just go to nationals and try to qualify there. But they didn't announce anything. So then they announced round 2, and this time it was constructed. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to go this one. And they're like, well, there's only 32 slots, and only the winner gets it. I'm like, oh great. And then luckily there was one an hour from me in San Diego, so we went to that one, and then I played almost the same team I played at Worlds was the Quinjet team, just like 2 differences. And then I got fortunate enough to win. I played Kevin in the finals, and we tested that matchup. He was playing a crank power battery, and it didn't matter what he did. You just can't kill the jet. So I won that one, and then that's how I got in to Worlds.
Awesome.
Or Nationals, sorry.
Nationals, yeah. Now, I before we get into the story of Nationals, you're of the guard that's probably got a good mind for speculation. Do you feel like a lot of U.S. Nationals, and the way it got run and the way it became qualifier only, do you think that part of that was WizKids didn't quite anticipate as many people qualifying through the WKOs as did? I think there was like 165 to 180 qualified bodies by the end of all the WKOs.
Yeah, this one I think they I don't think they did this last year, did they? Where they took like the WKO winners in. So this is the first time. This is the first time for them, and I think this is more like, well, we don't know how many people are actually going to show up who qualify. So their list of like 100-something people, 150 or something like that, they don't know how many are actually going to show up. And as it turns out, at Nationals, only 51 or 52 players were there.
Yeah.
So I think they can use that data for next year to see how they want to go about it. But I know that they used, because if you remember for Worlds, they only had sealed qualifier, right? But what they're thinking was, because actually Darren was posting, he's one of the guys at the booth that was posting at Realms. He said that WizKids Opens and Nationals were designed to be the constructed qualifiers. So we look at it from that perspective, then okay, it makes sense. Because a lot of people were saying over there, like, hey, there are no constructed qualifiers, only sealed, and it's only this, that. But really what he was saying was, well, that was your last chance to get in, so you have to win. Whereas you had the WizKids, you had 2 rounds of WizKids Opens to get into Nationals, and then you have to qualify Worlds through Nationals. Which when he explained it that way, it made sense to me, because I know, without having that context, you're just like, wow, we're qualifying for Worlds with nothing. We have to go 3-0 and sealed, and that's it. And I understand that aspect of it, but after they explained it, it made more sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So now,
I don't know if I even answered your question. I'm sorry.
You know what? You answered to enough of a degree. You got an explanation out of it, which is probably enough for what most people want. We'll get into that conversation towards the end of the show. I just kind of wanted to get early level of speculation, and then we'll get more opinionated stuff after that. But we got to continue the story that you've also been sharing on the Majestics website through your Tales of Origins. So now we're at Nationals. We've gone through the WKO. You won that. You've made it to Nationals. And take us through Nationals for those of us who haven't had a chance to read your article.
It was very nerve-wracking because it's the same weekend as Worlds. It was 2 days before the actual Worlds tournament. So normally nationals is held on another day and another part of the country, and you have time in between, just like they do for all the other nationals, like you guys had yours. But this it was what it was. So we went in, and everyone was surprisingly like, it was pretty jovial, calm. There was like no pressure in the air at all. At least I didn't see. Probably because it was the people I was around. I was actually sitting right next to Derek, and we were just cracking on each other, just having fun, just joking around, and that's what made it very, very relaxing. And then because everyone there was just joking around, having fun. I just decided, I'm just gonna play the team that I dance with the one that brung you, right? So I played the Quinjet, went through the three. It was a 3 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 8. So the way it was, and then they were going to take 1 out of every 4 people were going to get into the Worlds. So if you were in the top 13, you were in the Worlds no matter what. But top 8 will be into the single elimination. So people just wanted to get in top 13. That was the most important part.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to get into top 8, you basically had to go 3-0, unless you were fortunate enough to play against a zombie base or that Ultron drone point feeding team, where you kill a drone and come back, kill a drone, come back, kill a drone, come back. You can end up easily getting like 500 points from that zombie base. You play base, you can easily get anywhere from 300 to 600 points. You can even get 300 points and a loss, which is like what I think someone did. But I think Scott got in at number 8 because he played a drone team, and he got probably like almost 300 points in a loss. So it's really hard to overcome that if you're also 2-1, because he's 2-1, but he basically got 3 wins, right? Because when I went 3-0, I had 900 points. Scott had over 900 points, and he was 8th. So that was, I think that's kind of one of the things I think they need to look at, and we can talk about later, is they need to change the rounds. But yeah, so I got in, and then we played in top 8 was right there, but it was also getting really close to the Worlds qualifier, Team Worlds.
Yeah, Team Worlds. Yeah.
And then they wanted to give us a break, and we're like, no, let's just play so we can see if we can get in, because a lot of us are all 8 of us are actually going to be playing in the team. So Chris the judge said, okay, you guys can play top 8. We play. We finished pretty quick. And he says, okay, well, you guys are finished, done. You guys.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Done quick. Friday, it'll start at 4 p.m. when the regular Worlds qualifier sealed is starting. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. So that way you guys can play. And we're like, oh, wow, thank you. Because if not, we would have had to abandon our teammates.
Yeah.
So that was very fortunate. So, and then the next day I played Easton in top 4. It was a very rough match because we were both playing Quinjet. And he went full offensive mode and missed. He was basically going to win within the first 3 turns, but he missed a 5 on basically a kill shot to kill my last drone. And because he didn't kill that drone, I'm able to do all kinds of stuff now. And then I ended up pulling it out. And then, of course, I don't know if you saw the Twitch match in the finals where I play Scott, but he beats me in about 4 turns, 3 turns maybe. Yeah, well, I think it's 4 turns. And it took about 15 minutes. And that was all she wrote on that one. So yeah, Scott played really well because I had a plan. He had a plan. His plan was better.
That happens.
Yeah.
All right. So you've made it through the nationals. And how did you do in the team qualifier since they gave you the chance to play in that one?
Yeah, I played with Clay and Kevin. I played with Clay last year, where we finished top 8, and then Aaron couldn't make it. We were part of 3 random dudes. That was the name of our team. But Kevin took his place, and we won the qualifier. We went 3-0. We were pretty fortunate. We pulled our 6 boosters. We had a Dark Angel, Super Iceman, Prime Emma Frost, and the Chase Sabretooth Wild Child, and Uncommon Juggernaut. Like,
Yep.
And then like a variety of like those 50-point, 60-point X-Men, and that just made it, you know, it made it a lot easier for us, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so now we've done Team Worlds qualifiers. You've done U.S. Nationals in the top 2. I believe that gave you a day off on Friday for the most part.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I only had to play in the top 4 on Friday.
Yeah,
which was, and so that was only like 2 hours. But yeah, I got to look around the booth there, you know, check out the actual convention, and checked out the Versus 2 PCG. I don't know if you play that game, the new version of Versus, but I went over there to check out their their tournament area and caught up with one of the old tournament organizers over there, and I played some. I hung out with my friend who created Boss Monster. You met him, Chris?
I did. I had the pleasure of meeting him and thanking him for that game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We went over to his booth, hung out a little bit, and then try to learn some games like the Epic card game. Epic, it's called Epic card game. It's not an Epic card game. It's just Epic card game.
Epic the card game?
Yes. It's not an Epic card game. Yeah. That was good. That was it's one of the most important things that we were like, we have to qualify on Thursday for everything, so we don't have to stress some more on Friday, so we can actually check out stuff. And and we did. Yeah.
And that goes a long way towards getting your rest for the Saturday, because God knows Saturdays. If you qualify for everything, I found out, this is my first trip to Origins, I found out the hard way that that's a long day if you're ready for everything.
Yeah, because you guys qualified also in the first chance in Team Sealed, right?
Yeah. We squeaked by like the worst possible way to get 3-0. We went 2-1 in every single round. So
good. Yeah, so you got in that way, and then you got in Worlds through Nationals, Canadian Nationals, right?
Yeah.
So you did everything on Thursday. So all Friday is just battle royals or do whatever you want.
Yeah. I had a lot of time to spend with fans as well, though. So my battle royale time was not as much spent as I thought I was going to spend. That saved me a lot of money in the long run. But I also found out why I keep coming home from nationals and whatnot with full collections, and it's actually Amber. Amber is the one who's the queen of the battle royale.
Nice.
I was lucky to get an ID card on a regular basis. Let's just say so. All right, so we've had our fun. We've had our chicken and waffles at this point. I spent a good hour being a novelty to somebody.
That's okay. Yeah, that was really funny. It's like that witch has never met a real life Canadian, only on TV, or she's only seen him on TV or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to throw on all the Canadian stereotypes.
Oh yeah, jeez. And then that was funny. All those little sayings.
Yeah,
that was like one of the funniest things.
And I fixed the table. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. True. The table was wobbly.
Amber's sitting like, you're so Canadian. Fix the table, set a boot a couple times.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Like.
All right.
You could like kill people there with
that. 80 killer right here. All right. So now let's get into Saturday. Saturday is, of course, the big day. You've got Team Worlds and Single Worlds ahead of you. And Team Worlds, you fared fairly well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we finished third. We lost to the second place team, the KO Kings, the Colorado. It's pretty. KO
Colorado.
Yeah, it's like Colorado, but it's KO, and there's apostrophe Lorado.
Yeah.
So they're Colorado Kings. It's awesome, and they have the colors of the Denver Broncos as their jersey, so it's pretty good. And actually, that guy, one of their players, Alex Rosado, he's like their captain. When I met him at Denver a couple years ago, he told me, I don't play constructed. I'm a sealed master. That's what he said. And I'm like, oh my God, someone that like lives for sealed. And he proved it to me by coming in second at WizKids Open San Diego, winning the WizKids Open in Denver, and then winning the Salt Lake Salt Lake Gaming Convention sealed. And then finishing second in Team World sealed this year, and he won all his games, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys are really good. Yeah, it was only 2 rounds of Swiss, right? And that was the thing that kind of nerve-wracking. Like you have to go 2-0 or 1-1 and high points or something like that, right?
Yeah, we went 1-1 with a 3-0 and a 1-2.
Yeah, and then you guys actually got in at 8.
Yeah. Right? We squeaked right in, and we actually cheered when we found out we were right next to us. I
was like, "Oh, they got in!" And you guys played them first, right?
Yeah, we played the Colorado Kings in the first round of Swiss.
Yeah, the number 1 seed. Yeah,
and the Critical Misters actually beat us in Swiss. So,
oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
So they were the eventual winners. Yeah, they had a pretty strong team. Like they had. Well, I don't know what I know that one. I know one of the teams they were playing was like the White Magneto with X-23 and something else.
It was a 20
Beast. Yeah.
It was a C team. I was on the C player. And he beat me down with that.
Dude, it's impressive because he took down Tyler's team, which on the Colorado Kings. He was playing Chase Magneto, Rare Iceman,
and Storm.
And I don't know how he took that down because I thought I was doing good. It was like I got Magneto to like click 4. I had 3 guys left, and I'm good. 2 turns later, I'm dead. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Well, he just blows up everything. He gets 2 free attacks. I'm like, oh man. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's why Magneto is that good. He just crushed me.
Yeah.
So, so the fact that guy won is like that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the way I was looking at it, is that John, I think it was his name, was playing with the Beast, and that Beast, no matter how you're attacking it, has got 20 defense once it's got the energy shield marker on it. It's like, well,
from Magneto, right?
I got to get through this. So
yeah, that's a really good team.
Mm-hmm. All right, and so now we enter.
Do you know where they're from? With all due respect to them, I haven't seen them on the circuit.
I didn't think to ask, to be honest. Yeah. We got stuck in that novelty of where you guys from Canada, and then that starts a whole conversation, and that derails from us getting a chance to ask everybody where they're from. It's just like, yeah, we're from Canada. Oh, what part of Canada? Well, Ontario. I know somebody in Ontario. Well, it's a big province. So
that's funny.
Yeah. All right. So we're both knocked out of Team Worlds, but we have Single Worlds to go. And you have a much better story than I do. So let's hear your Singles World tale.
Well, I play the same team, exact same, because I just didn't want to think anymore. Yeah. I'm like, I'll just play this. I didn't even take it out of the box. I just the same. What is it? It was 3 rounds of Swiss. I think there were 50, I don't know how many players there were.
There were
maybe 50?
Yeah,
50 something, right? And then so there was going to be 3 rounds of Swiss, and then cut the top 8. I beat a Crank team in round 1 against and every time I play him or see him, I always make sure people understand the history of this game. Steven Plasko, first ever world champion for Heroclix, 2003. Mm-hmm. So people should know that. If you see him, pay respects. This is the guy that started it all in the game, and he's still playing now. But he was the first ever world champion, and I was playing him, and he was playing a Krang team, and he was telling me, well, I just want to play a team where I can win in 5 minutes or lose in 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And then sure enough, he comes in with Krang and just goes, balls out and just hits the jet for like 10 or something. And then I killed Krang the next turn with Nick because he takes the 2 damage. And then Nick hits for 6. And then that was it. So, yeah, the game was over in about less than 10 minutes. And then I played round 2 was it was a Midnight Sun. It was a really cool team. It was a Midnight Suns Doctor Strange team, right? The 150-point monthly OP kit. It's a Doctor Strange and Question. The Chase Question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. He uses the ATA where you can't draw line of fire if they can use stealth. So he uses Eclipso's stealth on Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And Question already has stealth. And then Question just smoke clouds every turn for free. But he plays Rock of Eternity, and then he just ticks up. He just waits until he gets to like full power, and then he just tries to roll that 9 with the Rock, and then he'll come out with Doctor Strange. I realized this maybe like 3 turns in, he's not moving from starting zone. Mm-hmm. So I just, I try to move up, as cautious as I can because I don't know what he's gonna do. But then I finally run up there, and I remember they can only be untargetable from range if they're on their top click. So I have Red Tornado come in, and I force blast his Question twice. So he gets off of that, and then I shoot him with my Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And
he's dead. So now I'm up. See, he calls out Nova to try to counterattack. Rolls a 6, doesn't hit anyone. And then I kill that Nova too. So I'm up now like 145 points, 150 to 0, or whatever ID cards. And then so he finally tries to he needs to go offensive, but he rolls the 9. Well, that's good and bad. It's good because he gets to that click, but it's bad because now he has 2 tokens.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a double power action to get Shazam.
Yes, that right there was what helped me because I had 2 turns to try to work on his Doctor Strange, but then by then time was called, so I only hit him for 6 with Nick Fury. Doesn't die, but then he has to clear the next turn, which means I get to hit again with someone else, and I could kill him. But time was called, and I win that one. And then I played against, who did I play against? What was that? I played against Dustin Hall of Team Vegas. He was playing a Krang team, a different version of Krang, because this Krang has the Pandora's box. And that was a pretty close game. It came down to, he did the same thing. He comes up, hits the jet and everything, and he takes the 2 clicks, and I pop on Nick, and I can kill his Krang. I just need a 7 with 2 probability controls, and he has none because I turned it off. Crit miss, prob miss, prob miss. Like, okay, well, now this is gonna be, it's gonna be tougher. But I'm like, well, I got one last chance. Colossal Retaliation with the Atom. Crit hit. All right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
He doesn't die, but he takes 3 clicks, and then that puts him in like a serious bind because he already took 2 the turn before. Heals 1 with Baxter. I kill Baxter, so now he's stuck on click 5. He runs away, comes back to Safer, regroups, tries to come up and hits the jet again, sure, and runs back again. And then I call in Nova, pulse wave his team. I kill the drone, so his Batman that he called in goes away. Krang goes to like second to last click, and then Justin Safer goes to last click. And then I Colossal Retaliation again with Atom, and then kill the Safer and Krang. So that was that game. So I go 3-0. We go to top 8, and then I'm playing against Kenji and Zombie Team Base. Oh, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. He wins the map. We're on a Tillin again. I'm like, oh, Deja Vu. This is the same thing that Scott did. And he does the same thing. And I position a little bit differently this time. Just a tad. I don't know if it made a difference, but I do know that I'm able to, because when I played against Scott, I did not have my jet connected to one of my drones. So the drone's defense was only 17 as opposed to 18.
Right.
So when he hits, he only needs a 6 or a 7 as opposed to a 7 or 8, depending on his perplexes. This time, I position, but I'm touching all of them. The jet's touching everyone. So he comes up with Magneto with the perplex attack. So it's 18, so he's got to perplex the attack. He perplexes the attack. Rolls a 6, 6, and then a miss. And I'm like, that extra 1 defense from the jet made him miss my drone by 1. Had I positioned the same way, he would have hit. But he still, with that many probs, he should have hit regardless, right? I mean, it's three times. But anyway, he comes in and says, like, fine. He comes in with Super Scroll, crit miss.
Oh.
And now he uses probs, so, now I'm like, oh, my goodness. Now, here's the thing that makes it worse is that because he missed with all of them, they don't have zombie tokens.
That's
so
right.
That means that when Nick comes in, he's killing someone and they're staying dead.
Yep.
So I call him in, and boom, there goes Super Scroll. Turn off Invincible. He's dead. Like, all right. And then I miss my retaliation on Magneto. But then he still has a chance, because if he kills my Atom with Magneto, he brings back Atom, and he can Colossal retaliate Nick.
Yeah.
Who's by everybody. And I'm like, well, okay. He won't be able to hit one of my He won't be able to hit one of my drones, and my jet will soak in the damage. And Atomic is a 19, but he'll kill a drone. He'll hit, and he'll kill Henry. But he misses that too. He probs, misses that too. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, so is this really happening? So then next turn, boom. So then he sidesteps back, and he working together, pops Magneto back on, and then it's like, okay, I'll hit Atom. Misses again. And I'm like, oh my God, he missed every attack. I'm like, he needs at that point he needed 6s. That I was like, wow, okay. And then he sidesteps back, and then I'm like, well, this is gonna be, at this point it's gonna be, like I have my whole team. He's pushed, and I don't have tokens on my guys. So out comes Winter Soldier. I smash his so I hit his so I attack the base. I turn off the shape change with my Atom. I get the outwit from the jet, and then I use Winter Soldier outwit the invuln. So I'm doing 5 damage with a 12 attack, because I'm like, okay, because I have Iron Man piloting, so I need a 6 with a prob. I miss, prob, crit hit.
Ah.
So now the thing takes 6, and then he goes, okay, clear. I'm like, all right. So I look, and I'm like, oh, I'm at 100 on my dial. So I call out Nightwing, bring in Zuko. I do my sidestepping and all that stuff in it. I perplex my movement by 2 so I can charge him, but I have a 4 damage because he's carrying Zuko, and I outwit his perplex that he had, and then he has I think he only has perplex or shape change at that point. I don't know. And then so I just charge in with or was it reflexes? I forget. But I charge in with Nightwing, flurry with empower from the Atom and empower from Henry. So he's doing 5. So he's doing 5 damage, right? And then I have a 12 attack. I hit. He probs, crit hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the second flurry hits, kills it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was like not okay, because each prob. Oh, by the way, when I hit Super Scroll with Nick the first time, I probbed my miss into a crit hit. So, but that part didn't matter because Super Scroll was gonna die anyway, because he had crit miss, and he didn't roll for the scroll power. But I rolled 3 crit hits, and he rolled a crit miss. But all my crit hits were off of rerolls. Whether it's his reroll or my reroll, it was a crit hit, and that was huge. And that's why I'm like, I used up all my luck, because there's no way I was supposed to win it in that fashion. I might have had a chance if he misses a couple, but for him to not hit any attack at all was just. I told him, I was like, look, dude, that was a BS match. I'm like, I'll take it because this is the top 8, but like that doesn't. That don't count. All right, that doesn't count for like. Yeah. It was. I was like, geez, like that was really fortunate. But so next round, I'm looking over, and it's Super Scroll versus a zombie team base, and I'm like, please don't let it be zombie base again, because I don't know if I can handle. I don't know if I can fight it again because I just used everything. And then Luke, who was playing the Super Scroll team, won, and that was a very contentious, heated, tense game, man. But he pulled it out, and then I played him. His team's really good. I was testing a version of it, but he had Super Scroll, Nighthawk, and Eclipso and Super Scroll, and Pandora. No, he didn't have Pandora's Max. He had 2 Atoms. That's right, 2 Atoms, and then he had a Nick level 7 ID card and Lex Luthor ID card. So I win the map, and then we're on the Manhattan Bridge. He does the calls in Lex Luthor TK Super Scroll. Super Scroll hits my drone. Drone comes back, and passes. He misses his scroll roll. My turn, I call in the Atom through regular ID. I retaliate. I kill the drone that he brings back, and I hit his Super Scroll for 1. And I also hit my jet, but my jet can reduce the penetrating damage, so I take nothing there. Yeah. And then I sidestep away with Atom so that he's outside of 5 squares of Atomica, and he disappears. Because he disappears, he can't colossal retaliate with his Atom, and that's what I needed that, or else he's gonna hit my other drone. So then I sidestep away because I have Iron Man piloting, and he makes one little mistake by miscalculating his charge range. He actually thought that they were on the same elevation, or that there was a 1 and 2 elevation change on the map, but I wasn't on that part. So he tried to charge. Is it better?
Just check the connection. You might need to rotate it. It's getting a little warbly.
Yeah, how's that? Still
a little better, but it's still a little staticky. So
let me take it out real quick.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So he tries to charge my drone, but he can't get far enough because he perplexed the damage. So he has to go after the Atom, which helped me because my drone lives. He kills the Atom, brings him back, heals because he picks the energy. So then I put my attention that way. I call out Nova, and I pulse wave his guys. I pulse wave, so I hit Atom and I hit Super Scroll. He's pushed, so he has to clear. Because he clears, I'm able to drop in Red Tornado and call in Nick. I have Nick for free, but I call in Red Tornado. So I kill Super Scroll, and Super Scroll comes back to life. He has 2 tokens. And then I force blast him once with Red Tornado to go to last click. And then I just attack him regularly with Super Scroll, Red Tornado, and kill him. So that was basically it, because now he only has 2 Retaliators and Atom against basically my full team. So I was able to win that one. And then I played Derek in the finals, and that was really cool because he's like one of the best players that I know that I play against. And his team building is always top notch. From like animal teams to the first person to actually play a zombie team base, to success. He played it last year at U.S. Nationals. I remember that. And this year he's playing Iceman. But which was really cool about this was during the WizKids Open, if you look at all 29 lists, there were only 2 lists that were legal after the rotation.
Yeah, and Derek's one of them.
Yeah, his and mine. And we played the exact same team. And the only difference for me was I have Nova instead of Red Hulk ID, and I changed the Ultron drone from Future Ultron to 18.2 Ultron. But it's essentially the same thing. And so that's why I say, hey, it's pretty cool that, we're able to win in that format before, and now we're meeting in the finals playing, the same team. And I didn't really know what his team was doing at first. I just know that Iceman's supposed to lock you down. And then when he did it to me the first time, I was like, oh, crap, next turn he's gonna do it again. Where he comes in, goes through and hits, puts the ice token, and every turn he's just gonna sidestep back and forth just for the free attacks.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck because then my jet won't be able to do anything. Good news is the jet has 17 clicks, so even if he hits 3 times, it's not gonna kill it. Right. So I have that going for me. I'm like, eventually he's gonna miss, or I'm just gonna like out action him because I have enough guys. So sure enough, he comes up, hits the jet, but he's right in the middle. So I Colossal Retaliate. I hit his Atman, I hit him, and I hit Atomica. And then I call in Nova and I Pulse Wave. And then so Adams, what's his name is dead. Ant-Man is dead, and what's his name takes 2 damage. Iceman. So Iceman at this point has taken like 4 clicks already.
Yeah.
So at this point he needs to like regenerate, which means that he's not attacking me. So then he also pushes Nightwing to get, or Nighthawk to get in close. He pushes the Iceman to heal with the regen. Rolls a 6. So I'm like, okay. But at least he didn't get to hit me twice. He regens and goes to top click, but it's a push. I'm like, okay, because my guys don't, I have a lot of guys. I have Nightwing for free. And I do the same thing I did where I pop out Tony Zuko, Nightwing, Heaven Outwitter, and then throw in Henry. And I charge his Nighthawk, and I kill him in the flurry attack. And then I bring in Red Tornado, sidestep over, and I force blast Atomica off the bridge. So at this point, it's just Iceman against the whole Mesa team. And then I get away from Iceman with my jet. I move in like to the other side of the map, and then next turn he clears, and then I just call in Nick and I hit him for 6, and then you know 6 clicks, so he's dead. But my plan was basically to just out action him because I know that he's gonna lock something down, but he can't lock everyone down. And between my Pulse Waivers and my Colossal Retaliations, something's gonna connect. At least that's what I was hoping for, you know. So yeah, and then so I won, and I couldn't believe it because I really thought I was out against Kenji just because of what happened the day before against Scott, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and you've done it again, as it were, because this is not your first rodeo. You're not your first big win, and you do this in spurts. So.
You know. I don't know. It's you know what they say. It's like it's harder to do it again, to maintain it than to get up there, and definitely last year, like definitely a fat cat last year. You know, like just I don't have to do anything, and then just I don't have to do anything, and then I'll just try to play, and then I'm like, oh man, I get decimated in some games, and I'm like, oh. I forgot you still have to put in work to try to do, you know, everyone else is putting in work. And I'm like, oh, just because I did it once doesn't mean I can't do it anymore. I can't put in work to keep it up, you know? And that's what the mentality that I took this year was just, all right, I got to get back to the 2014 mentality. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with that. Because 2014, your name was on every rock update that I'd ever read. And I was like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Why do I keep reading his name? Is he cheating?
You didn't know, but I was writing it. I was writing it myself. That's why.
Yeah.
I didn't actually read those. I just wrote about it.
Yeah. I read that your name was on the rock board. I was like, okay, what's going on here? He's getting fishy. And, you know, then I had the pleasure of meeting you and watching you in action, and you were the real deal. So, you know, all things considered, these are, of course, the initial gut reactions to all the things that you see. But I also noticed you, like the year after you won Worlds, you were very quiet on the rock front. And then just before this year's World Championships, your name showed up again in the tops. And basically every time I saw your name, it was Patrick got first place. Or I was reading your article, hey, went to this tournament. Guess what? I got first again. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I needed to get back to that 2014 mentality. Yeah, I didn't go to as many so far. I've only gone to four rocks this year. I won 3 of them. Super Qs I won, and then I went to one WizKids Open. So 4 wins. You know, as opposed to like 2014 where I went like almost every month, every week, every other week. You know, but it's also because Worlds back then was in August, whereas Worlds this time is in June.
Yeah.
So, you know, and if you look right now, there's like a regional coming up in Oklahoma. We have Rock US Nationals August 20th, Vegas. Everyone come. And then, you know, there are other, you know, there's one in New York. There's a Super Q coming up. So I think I would be going to the same amount had it not moved from August to June.
Right.
So I think it's just a scheduling.
Yeah. Now, on that note, do you plan? Obviously, you're planning on going to Rocktober. So, and are you planning on hitting a couple more events? And are you actually running your own? Because I know you run the regional at your.
We did the regional that you were supposed to go to. Remember? I have to give you some crap for that.
Money all of a sudden. I understand you're allowed to give me crap. And money came up, and I still hadn't yet got my passport. But I've now been south of the border. I've proven that I can get there. It's just now I got to get to the west side of the continent.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, you have a place here, my place. Come, free lodging, so you save a lot there. You just got to get here. But the Rock US Nationals is August 20th. I just finalized the venue and everything because the venue I was supposed to have it at is actually they're closing at the end of the month, and I had already reserved their spot like 2 months ago. So they just told me at the beginning of this month that they're going to close it at the end of the month. I'm like, great. So I can't put the announcement up. So we still have roughly 7 weeks, but the word's starting to get out there. I'm going to be putting a lot of my pricing up for the prizes, so there will be Connelly's on top of the Rock kit, which is going to be a Super Q level kit. So there's going to be 2 LEs there, 8 maps, I believe, 8 maps, yeah, and then you know the various points and stuff, and we're going to have as usual as you saw, I gave you those Jane Foster pogs and the Eva Pog and stuff like that. Yep. So for this one, we're gonna be doing hopefully, if I can, we'll be doing the Devil Dinosaur Pogs.
Oh, cool.
For the giveaways for this one, because I saw they have 3 Pogs for that one. But yeah, Vegas is a good destination for people to come just to come. It's not that expensive to fly over there. Yeah. And the venue is huge. It's new and it's huge, and they do Heroclix there. So I'm very excited for that. I just talked to the organizers / judge over there, and we're set to go. And you know we're getting the word out to everyone on the West Coast to try to show up to Rock Nationals, because you win that, you're gonna be all the way in the finals. There might be there's gonna be quite a few Connellys there, like especially from 2016. So there might even be some Chase and Prime X-Men stuff, since I was lucky enough to get 3 sets.
Yeah, that's true. So, and one more time, when was this? This is August?
August 20th in Vegas.
August 20th in Vegas, you say? I swear I am not looking up flight costs at all.
Yes. And then my contact over there is gonna try to see if they can do any kind of like hotel deals for our event. So, but I mean, it's gonna be cheap because it's a weekend where I don't think there's really anything big happening, which means the hotels are gonna be pretty cheap. You know, you can probably get them for like $50-$60 a night over there. Oh, assuming it's not a weekend where it's not like a big event. If there is a big event, then forget what I said.
Is that on the West Coast? Just for those of us on the East Coast that have no idea what things are.
Yes. It's the same time as California, so Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. It seems pricey for me at $300 a direction. So
300 each way, or is it round trip?
That's what it looks like, but that's Air Canada. I could find another airline, I'm sure.
Okay.
There's cheaper ones.
You just if you can like come down to like fly from like New York or something, it might be cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, I might do that. It depends. Amber's giving me stink eye about this right now because we already have Rocktober planned.
Well, if you can make it, it would be really cool.
Also,
for you to come here.
Sorry.
Also, it's like I said, it's a destination place because it's Vegas.
Yeah. And also 2 weeks prior to that, the weekend of the 6th of August, we're actually running our Canada Cup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. The Rock Canada Cup is going to be at 401 Games on August, the weekend of the 6th and the 7th.
Wait, August 6th and 7th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not looking up prices either, so.
I swear I'm not looking up all this WestJet and.
Where's is it in Toronto?
What's that?
Or Hamilton? Where is it? Where's 401 Games?
401 Games is in Toronto. It's
Toronto,
downtown,
okay.
so airports you're probably better off picking Billy Bishop. That's the one on the island. Just you'll just ferry over to downtown, and it shouldn't be too hard to find a hotel downtown that's pretty close to 401 Games.
Nice. Oh, that's August 6th, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Let me see here.
See what I did there?
Wait, when did you say when? August. Okay, hold on.
It's the weekend of the 6th.
Oh, geez. Let me.
See, this is what we do. Me and Patrick are so friendly that we're starting to both advertise and plan going to each other's events.
Well, for me, and wow, it's not so bad for me. Round trip, it's like $450 round trip.
That's your dollar though, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's actually not bad. That's just a little bit more than when we went to Ottawa. But this is this is cool. We'll see. I haven't been to Toronto. I want to go.
It's definitely interesting. You'll find a lot of similarities to it in Columbus because of the downtown core. It's just like a lot of cities. You go downtown, it's like, well, it's a downtown. I'm finding the more I travel. So beyond all of that, let's talk about the future of the game at this point, because in about, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more days. I never have to say the word zombie team base when planning for a competitive game. And we entered this new meta. Do you think the Quinjet owns all, or are there answers to the Quinjet out there right now?
Well, first of all, I'm going to be expecting articles from all you guys regarding the new format. So
I'm working on one on reading the meta now, I promise.
Yeah. Also, we should just digress a little bit, but Amber should definitely do another rules thing, because we couldn't put that other one up because they reneged on that. Remember?
Yeah, she's cursing right now about that.
I know I was like, man, that sucks. But anyway, because I saw your little meta fix or whatever where she talks, or whatever where she does the rules.
The show she does.
That's what I was. Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, oh, I would like her to do an article or something when she talks about that too. But anyway, Quinjet. Well, Zombie had a good game against it, but I think there are actually a few ways you can deal with the Quinjet. Still, it's just that, remember, it's been only less than a month from people figuring out the format, right? We've only had 3 weeks, right? It's not a lot. It's not a long time. So there's still going to be more exploration. In about another month, well, we're going to have Superior Foes. So who knows what's in that one? There could be more things. But just from when it rotates out, it does. I will say that it does get kind of hard because Nova leaves. Because Nova leaves, the drones are going to be stronger, because you can't pulse wave all the drones for 2. Right. Now it's your best bet is Hopefully, Black Canary can hit them into a wall and they die.
Yep.
You know, but it's barring that, it's hard to do two damage, two drones in one a shot. You'd have to have something like Green Arrow, where he has multiple bolts with energy explosion, or you pump up the damage and then you just multiple target 3 of them or 2 of them and just hopefully you have pen blasts with that and they die or something like that. That's one way to do it, because really it's the jet is doable. It's you can handle it as long as you can handle the drones and the support pieces, because the jet by itself is good, but you know what they're going to do because it's only the jet.
Yeah.
If it has a token, you know that, well, he's either going to attack or pass. He can't do anything else.
Right.
But if there's a jet and 2 drones that don't have tokens, you're like, oh, great. Now what's going to happen here? Is this guy is he going to call in, or is he going to call in? Who do I hit? What do I do? But if you get rid of them, that's why a priority when you're supposed to, the priority, little secret, because I know people have been playing against jets, because I played against them, and they don't go after the drones. You got to go after the drones first.
Yeah.
If you don't go after the drones, you will lose, guaranteed. Because unless you can do 17 damage in 1 turn, the jet's not dying. I've said this before. It's not a jet. Black Panther has everyone. He has the veil over everyone's eyes. It's not a jet. The Wakandan design. It's a tank.
It's an airborne tank.
Yes, it's a tank masquerading as a jet. Because what jet would you move right into the middle of the map and just go hit me? No. A tank. That's what you do that with a tank. You don't do that with a jet. So, unless you can do 17 damage to a jet in 1 turn, it's like banging your head against a wall, because you can hit it for 12, 13, 14, but if it doesn't die and the drones are still there, they're the ones that are going to kill you, because they're going to kill you. They're going to call someone and kill you, and then they're going to roll the resource dial, and if they roll good, there's another 60-point guy, 50-point, 70, 80-point guy coming out for the follow-up. So there's that. But I would look at something like double Quicksilver. If you have an outwitting character that can 2 Quicksilvers running back to empowered ants can make short work of the jet in 1 turn, really quick. I played against one at the Wizards Open where it was 1, and in 1 turn he did 10 to me. I was like, oh my god, I'm like, that's 1 Quicksilver. He did 10 to me in 1 turn. I'm like, that's over half my life. Luckily, he didn't kill the drones, so the drones are able to call out guys to hit some stuff, and then I rolled and I popped out Peggy Carter and just shut down his hypersonic speed. So now there's that. But Quicksilver's 1. Krang, I don't think can do it, just because he only gets 2 attacks.
And he does so much himself too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like he stays up there, takes 2 damage, and he calls someone and then he just kills them, and then there goes it. Like, yeah, he did like 11 damage to you, but he didn't kill you. So the Quinjet is still the top dog, but there's also going to be, I think, a lot of different builds people can because in my article I was saying you can do like the version where you just have big hitters and you just build up to them and they come out. That's a possibility where you just burn ID cards to roll it. The downside of that is if you just roll a bunch of 1s and 2s, that's not good. It's not going to work. That's why I advocate using the balanced version, or just shouldn't have anything more than like 120 points, in my opinion. Like Nick Fury should be the top, because very rare you're going to go over 120. Because of the various that roll is, you might get a 2 or 3. You take a couple hits here and there, you clear. You're going to be at like 80 or 90, fairly often. Every once in a while you get to 100, 120, then that's when you call in that way. But you should have a bunch of guys that are like under 100 points, so you can call in for free. But yeah, I think it's Quinjet, and then Krang is still a thing because why not? Everybody loves those big robots that hit. The Superman Batman robot also, that took me by surprise.
Yeah,
that wasn't on my
radar. Playing that one.
Yeah, I think it was Robert that played it all the way into the top 8, and so basically, in any robot out there that can just make Seifert relevant, or Seifert makes them relevant, that's going to be. So who knows? There might be more. I mean, what Superior Foes has? Alistair Smythe might be in it.
Yeah.
And he's like a robot. He's a robot guy, so maybe there could be like a different version of that. I don't know, or maybe more robots, maybe different Spider Slayers. Yeah, I guess we all need to just wait until Superior Foes.
Yeah, and that'll be the changers, because I mean we've had time to take a look at Civil War right now, and there's nothing in there that really, in my mind, stands out and says Quinjet go bye-bye.
You know what Civil War reminds me of? It reminds me of how Fear itself was, where it was almost like a self-contained. War of Light was kind of like this too. You don't count the entities, but like most of the pieces from those sets made it into the regular metagame. It was all within its own, even though there were like really good pieces, but it was all in the context of that sealed format. Yeah. Like you don't see any, like, there's a lot of good stuff in Fear itself, but you aside from Loki, I don't know if you've seen anything. The 30-point Loki, I don't think you saw anyone. In War of Light, it was the entities, but I don't remember seeing many of the other ones. Maybe there was a one time where a Weapon of Accord was good, but
Kyle Rayner.
And then,
you brought
him.
Oh
yeah, you're right. Oh yeah. but he's not in the sealed.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't in the sealed format, so he was a prize. So yeah, Kyle Rayner is a good one. But and then the Civil War, I don't know. I mean, for me, I think Wiccan could be good.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll wait and see. He's got like every power in the book, man.
Yeah, every single support power, every power you spend like 20
ridiculous
points on a character for, he has.
No. Oh, and he's Mystics too. So all right. Yeah. So he's hitting back. Also, actually, the Ultron Age of Ultron sets are actually, I think, the first set that they've had where they have a lot of pieces that have impacted the regular Modern Age, 300-point Modern Age, because all the drones are there.
Oh,
that's a lot. Yeah.
Those drones are there.
Yeah. The various ID cards that are in that set, as well as like pieces like Jewel could be called in. She could be played. You can call in like Luke. They have a lot of ID guys that you can call in. Who knows? They could be good later on.
Yeah.
Quasar. No, there's Mockingbird. There's a bunch. So that's, I think, the first set that they've, and then they went back with the Age of Ultron set actually felt like a regular set.
Yeah.
Whereas Civil War set feels like an OP set. Feels like a War of Light. Feels like a Fear itself.
Kind of its own thing. I hear where you're coming from on that one for sure. And I just, maybe there'll be some prize things like you said, but the stuff within the set. Although I do remember there was that brief time just before the errata on the utility belt that Iron Fist was a threat. The 80-point one.
Yes, you're right. That's so funny. That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I actually played that at Worlds in 2013.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I actually played the 80-point Iron Fist. Yeah, the Heroes for Hire. Yeah.
That was such a
game. Yeah.
All right. So we had a couple of fan questions get added to the draw, so we're gonna cover those, and then I think we're about it for the night. First off, Fabricio Granados, is there anything, now this is as far as stuff we've seen coming up in the future, or even if you want to include Civil War, he wants to know if there's any interesting new pilots in any of the new sets, or ID colons, or as well, he wants to know how much fun did you have at Worlds?
Oh, well, let me address the fun part. The stigma is slowly going away. Slowly, chipping away. That the Worlds and competitive tournaments are not fun. There are a bunch of jerks there. Not well-adjusted people that into social settings, but it's the exact opposite. Anyone who actually goes will know it is just a blast to hang out with everyone. You actually missed out when I was trying to remember the Dick's Last Resort. There were 30 people there from various parts of the country, and from Brazil, Mexico, just all hanging out. And everybody has we all have a common interest, and everybody just loves to. So it's awesome because you can say something, make a reference in Heroclix, and they'll all get it.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. You can make like a dice reference joke or a power joke, and they'll all get it and they'll all laugh. The competition is great. All the competitors. I haven't played anyone the whole weekend that was like a poor sport. They get frustrated if they play bad or lose, but no one was just an outright jerk. I believe Kenji might be like the nicest person I've ever met in my life. I would be flipping the table if I was him. And he was calm, smiling, and just very cordial. And it was like just show me a little bit of anger, because I'm getting angry that you're not angry.
Tell me you're human.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, geez. I'm like, what are you, the Terminator? No, but he's like really, really nice. And all the guys are like Kenny's like that. All those pushing guys are like, I love them. Like Abdul, I play. They're awesome. Even the guys who could be really intense, like Luke, you just crack a joke here and there. He's very open to that kind of banter, and he's really nice. I know he could be very intense sometimes, but I have no problem with him. Yeah, everyone. It's just fun. So I would advertisement for coming to any kind of competitive event. Please do. You'll meet the greatest people you'll ever meet in this game and community. Just even outside, because I don't know. That's just, like I said, it's something unique to our community that you don't see in other games. I don't see this in Magic. I don't see this in Yu-Gi-Oh. The fighting game community. Are you kidding me? I went to one of those like a fighting game tournament. There's a place, an esports arena in my area. Oh my God, these guys are like straight up like they'll lie, cheat, and steal. like a lot of these people are like that. I know a lot of them. It's not indicative of everyone, but the culture of the game is just a bunch of shit talking, a bunch of just like thuggish behavior.
Yeah.
I just like nothing else to put. But anyway,
competitors and when one wins, he doesn't just go good game. It's like what?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, and this was like a lower level, a lower tier event, and just listening to people but it's the culture of their game, how they are. So it's normal, but for us, it's different. Everyone is very like family. Friends, like it's like close knit. So there's that. As opposed, and now we'll come to like the pilots and ID call-ins. I haven't really looked at what Civil War has to bring. However, I believe that the LE Iron Man and the LE Captain America could be good as just regular playing, or you can call them in because they're 80 points. But they have 3 stop clicks each.
Yeah, so they're safe call-ins. They're not going to be call-ins that are going to die on you.
Yeah. Or you just play them by themselves. That's really good. I don't think there's a Venom card, right? But I think the Venom looks pretty good.
There is actually a Venom. Like Venom is the name of the character.
Oh, you're right. There is. But it's like a Flash Thompson, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can actually call in this Venom from the
set. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I guess he could be an option. Pilot wise, I don't know how many shield guys there are. Are there a lot of shield guys in the Civil War?
I don't think so. There might have been, Amber, off the top of your head, are there any shield guys in Civil War that we've seen?
Or like cheap Avengers. Like 40 points or less.
Actually, everything is 60 or higher in the set. It's 60, 70, 80, or 90. That's it.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion on the design aspect. But the
design for battle royales. So
and for steel, I don't like that. They got to go with I know they want to make it simple by ending at 0s or 5s, but they gotta have a little bit more flexibility in their design. But for pilots, if the pilot isn't, if it's more than like 40 points, I would not put it in the jet or Punisher van unless it's you're for example, if you're piloting with the 50-point Ironman, he's good because he's got both the pilot traits for the jet, but it's also because you're going to call him in for free from the jet. So it's like you're paying 5 points for him to put in the jet. That's fine. The Punisher, the 45-point Punisher is going to be good because he could go in the van, and you have the 60-point Punisher. Those are fine. I think if you're going above 40, 45, it's got to be yeah, because that's a lot of points. I think 50 points is a lot to take off your board, unless you're getting something really, really good, you know. And Iron Man doesn't count because he is 5 points when you call him in through the resource dial.
Yeah.
So like Jewel works, Jarvis, you know.
Yep.
Fine.
Jewel and Jarvis are great pilots. And before we go further on this, I just as an instigator on the Iron Fist ID card, I noticed the new Daredevil inset has a real name of Danny Rand. So if you don't need ignore hindering for shooting and movement.
Wait, the Daredevil in the what set?
In Civil War.
Really?
His real name is Danny Rand. Actually, Iron Fist in the Daredevil outfit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. He did masquerade as him. Okay, forgot about that.
It's when everybody found out Matt Murdock was Daredevil, and there's a new Daredevil every week.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So Iron Fist and Call of Dare, that's funny. Just you confuse people. Big time.
Call it using the Iron Fist ID card to call in Daredevil. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
All right. Next up, Matt Wallace asks, he wants to know, when it comes to picking your team, I'm messing around with the words, guys. I am still asking your questions. But when you build your teams, do you come up with a number of teams and just kind of go pick it out of a hat? Or is there a process that you go through when it comes to actually picking the team that you plan on playing?
Well, before we if it starts with an idea, right? So like Kevin or Justino or Chris, they'll all have like an idea. Like when Krang came out, okay, we all know Krang will be at least tried. So we came up. So one guy will just build, like Kevin and Chris were the guys that like built the Krang teams. And then Kevin came in and said, I have a skeleton of a Quinjet. And then Justino was playing, he's like, let me look at the resources. So he's looking at the Rock and Pandora, so how they can fit in other resources or in teams, you know. And then I'll say, you know, I'll have my input. I'll say, like for mine, it was, we got to look at the Ultron drone team. So we all look at something, and then we all bring it in, we all test it, and then, you know, we just kind of play, and then see what works, and then from there, things get tweaked, they get dropped, they get, you know, things get added on. Also, we look at other results from other events to see what's being played, or like, for example, our last event, the States was another one. The States, one of the ones we looked at was a double shifting focus Superman, Blue Superman, Atomica, Pandora's Box, ATA. That was actually something that was really, really high, really, really high, because it's 22s all around. You can't pulse them. They're theme team. They have ID call-ins, good dial. But then as we tested that more, we're like, well, how do you win? Because the Superman needs to hit. If they need to hit, they need to turn into something else. And then now the defense drops, and now they can get hit. And that was the problem we found. So, you know, it's through the process of testing like that, and then we'll say, okay, so then we eliminated that from our actual consideration after we tested a few times. And also, we have a lot of guys who come in the store who also have their own lists, who have similar ideas, and they'll say, hey, bring that in. Because some, you know, the Superman team was actually Ryan Roberts' idea, and he tested it. We tested it, and, you know, we tweaked it to a point where we thought it could be good, and then just not quite there. And then from there, we just go with what we like, because there's like Justino likes range teams, Chris likes
close combat teams. Kevin likes to play the best version of what's the best out there. So it would be like, okay, well, the best is zombies. So then he was working on like the best version of zombies, which in our testing was 5 zombies plus a Thor ID card. So that was that. And then, but then the Quinjet, I always like to do something different. So then I just latched on to the Quinjet because, it was just a general consensus that everyone was like, hey, people are going to play Quinjet. People are going to Quinjet. It's like, all right, well, let's see if it actually is good, and then go from there. And then through the process of testing and results and, just practice, you fine tune what. Sometimes the team will just completely leave our gauntlet because the idea was sound, but then practice always beats theory. So
yeah,
we that there's that because theory can tie practice, but I'll never beat practice. So yeah, that's how we go about it.
Yeah. Now to kind of add to that, there's 2 team philosophies that are out there that I know you and me, your team, my team, we kind of go to the gospel of our version, and then there's the other version where we build for the players, and each of our players kind of runs their own thing, but we still test it amongst each other and don't get down on it too much if it's losing just to our own stuff. We still have to practice it against the rest of the meta.
Right.
But then other teams will kind of come up with what they think is a great idea and then end up playing just like one person's best build. So do you, now obviously you ours. In what cases do you think the best build, the one build, is really the only?
Oh, you mean like how let's say before how Ragnarok did it, where they would
I
play.
didn't want to call out names, but
no, that's fine. No, it's. I don't think it's bad. But yeah, what they normally do, right? Where they have their best and they all play it.
Yeah.
Right. That's fine. It's just. So a couple things why we don't do that. We used to do that, but then a couple things. Number one, it's getting harder and harder to get everything in multiples. So like we can never play like if the best team is zombie base, only one person will play zombies because we cannot get double Super Scroll, double Magneto, double. You know what I mean? Like so, there's like no way. I'm like, if you're playing zombies, you're the only one playing zombies. So there's that. So like for this, we only have so many ID cards to put on a team. There's only so many level 7s to go around, and you need 2 on our team. Like we have 4 between us. So I'm using 2 of them. So it's like if he plays it, then what about the other guy? You know what I mean? So there goes that. The other one is we also don't like the mirror match playing because like unless it's in the finals. But it just sucks if you just play against your teammate playing the exact same team like the second round.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, then it really is who wins the map, who gets what on their roles. But at least there's some variance and differentiation in play when you have different builds. That's how we do it. And also, like Justino and Chris Flores never play the same team because they're completely different. Chris likes to play swarm, aggro, in-your-face teams. Justin likes to play keep away. That's a completely two different philosophies. And if you switch them, Justin wouldn't know how to. I mean, he'd know how, but he wouldn't be as good as Chris in terms of knowing how to move a swarm team and how to attack. And then on the other hand, Chris wouldn't know how to position optimally the way Justin can doing range attacks with Nick or Green Arrow or something like that. That's just how it is, And they also don't like to play, just for their personalities too, they don't like to play something that's already been played. Kevin doesn't mind. He's like, if that's the best, I'll play it. So that's a different aspect. He's like, okay, if that's the best, I'll play it. Just let me build the best version of it. And, it works because like he won a regional with a Super Scroll team. He had the best version of Super Scroll team, and when we play New Mutants, he's like, oh, New Mutants is the best. well, how about New Mutants Copycat instead of New Mutants Lydia? Okay, we'll play that, and then to varying degrees of success. So that's how I think it's really on the also the personality of your group. If you don't if everyone's playing the same thing, it could be bad because you're not playing to someone's strengths, let's say. But it can also be good because if it actually is the best, why not just everyone play it? But for us, it's an availability factor and also the archetype of problem for each player. So
yeah, and that's also us too. Is Tom has just the weirdest off the wall builds all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it. He didn't even build a team. He just waited to see what was across from him and then built a team from there.
That's how I was like, I don't know what to name this team because it could be anything.
Yeah, I called it. I'll build it later.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you later.
Yeah. And then we have Mike, who's he's still finding his legs, and he's been comfortable and successful with the 10 pole. He's trying to leave it behind, but oftentimes he finds himself kind of drifting back there.
Yeah, that's what it is. Krang is probably the best 10 pole, one of the best. Super Scroll, but he's going out. So there's going to be new temp. You know what? I'm surprised nobody played it was the KC Flash.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought KC Flash should have been seen like a lot more, but maybe the next one because the new format. So
yeah, once the format changes, maybe KC Flash will find his way back.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, one quick last check on the YouTube comments to see if there's any other questions, but it looks like we are all questioned out for you, sir. So as always, I want to thank you once again for joining us and blessing us with your presence and your championshipness. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. But before we see you out, is there anything you'd like to plug or talk about before we let you go?
Just anyone who wants to learn about competitive play, strategies, tactics, pick the brains of top players. We have a subscription site. We also have a lot of free articles where you can get insight into what's out there. Is majesticccg.com/apex-insiders, and it's $3 a month. So 10 cents a day. You can read all the premium articles, such as Jason's musings on team testing, and so I always have a blast reading your articles because they always have all those quotes in the beginning.
The interactions between two dummies.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's Easton is one of the writers too, and he's like, to me, he's one of the top players for sure, hands down. He's not. It's like not even. It's not even debatable. He's one of the writers. He there's a lot of strategy tips there too. It's also, you can get insights of how people will, if you want to know how to test, how to build teams, stuff like that. Adam Friedman, most brilliant minds. I would subscribe just for him. He has like pages and pages of articles that I still haven't put up because he writes like a madman. And he's got one of the most brilliant minds. Tiago, who does the clicks for the week, easily a top 10 player. He plays in Brazil, so we don't know because he plays down there. We don't see him, but I saw him play at Worlds, and this guy's like one of the best players who we don't know. But you will know for sure. I mean, he won nationals last year in Brazil, so he's definitely legit. So we have Paris is the previous world champion, so we have a lot of good content. And also, if we also have an online store.
Yeah, buy stuff.
Buy stuff. That's basically it.
All right. So I want to thank Patrick for joining us. I want to thank you guys who watched live for watching. If you're watching on the recorded version, thank you as well. And if you're looking to support the channel, check us out at patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. We have all kinds of goodies and treats that you can get just for supporting us if you don't want to go directly through our sponsor or indirectly through our sponsors. So that's your direct channel to us. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, coming up, probably July 8th, because July 1st is a holiday here, and we're busy on that one. July 8th. Oh, it's our wedding. Can't do July 8th. There's going to be a slight delay in next month's patron hangout. You should have seen. Remember when I said I was getting stink eye for checking out flights? I just got the worst thing. I think there's a hole in my head now. So July 15th will be our patron hangout. A little delayed this month because of between Canada Day and a wedding. We were a little busy this month. July is a bit of a crazy one for us. I am so sorry. So July 15th will be our patron hangout, and to get in on that, check us out at patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. Also check out hcrealms.com, check out the shop section, or go directly there by realmsgaming.com and buy some stuff and use the coupon code Mary for 10% off your purchase and to support the channel. And once again, can't help but repeat majesticccg.com/apex-insiders. Enter that premium site, $3 a month, and what you get out of that is beautiful. I read the articles myself constantly, and that sounded like what I was explaining my Playboy collection to my parents. There are some awesome, I'm going to call it team porn, because there's some good teams that come out of that. And a lot of times, when people talk about their teams on that site, they do well with it. Maybe that's what I got to start doing. I got to start writing about my teams more often.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you finished third with the team that you wrote.
Yep.
You wrote about.
And nobody believed I did it with that team. But without further ado, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Patrick, thank you again, and congratulations. It's 2 times now, singles 2016 World Champion.